Hey guys, this is Mo for Phonefight, and today's phone fight is between the HTC Mytouch 4G and the Samsung Nexus S. Both of them recently released. The Mytouch 4G was just recently released November 3rd through T-Mobile stores. It is their first 4G phone with a front-facing camera. The price currently is $199.99 with a 2-year contract, or $449.99 without a contract. And the Nexus S was kind of a surprise for the end of 2010. Was recently released December 16th, available only at Best Buy stores. It is $199.99 with a 2-year contract for T-Mobile, or $529.99 without a contract. This is sold unlocked, capable of running on AT&T's network. It runs on AT&T's Edge network and is capable of T-Mobile's 3G speeds. Which one of these phones is the right phone for you? Which one of these phones is going to win the phone fight? Stay tuned to find out. Now let's start out by taking a look at the outside of these phones. Both of these phones have the front-facing camera. Both of these phones have the buttons down at the bottom, which are typical of all Android phones. However, the Mytouch 4G has physical buttons where we have a home, a menu, a back, and the Genius button rather than the search button. And the Google Nexus S has the back, menu, search, and home. These buttons on all devices seem to be changed all the time. They're always typically the same buttons. They just always, seem to change them around where they're in different spots. Gets a little confusing after a while, but it's not the biggest deal. I just kind of wish they would standardize that. Both of these phones have one microphone on the bottom. The Nexus S has the USB port and the 3.5mm headphone jack on the bottom. We have the power/lock button on the side. Nothing here on the top except a little spot to take off the battery cover, and a volume up and down rocker, a one-piece rocker. On the Mytouch 4G, we have the 4 buttons, the trackpad, we have the microphone on the bottom, a shutter button on the side for the camera, 3.5mm headphone jack, a power/lock button right over here on the top, and the volume up-down rocker. Also a spot to use the desktop dock that just came out for the Mytouch 4G. Let's take a look at the back of each phone. The Mytouch 4G has a metal battery cover, gives the phone a real heavy, solid feel. Has the speaker right here on the back. We have the 5-megapixel camera with focus and a LED flash. The Nexus S also has the speaker on the back. We have a LED flash right here and a 5-megapixel autofocus camera. We have a plastic battery cover on the Nexus S. Kind of gives it a feel reminiscent to that of the Vibrant. It follows in line, I'd say, with the Galaxy S line. Just gives it a lightweight feel. I don't want to say it's a great build quality because I'm not too sure about that. As you can see, I've cleaned this phone many times, but the fingerprints just come back. So it's already frustrating when you get fingerprints on the screen, but they keep returning even on the back of the phone. Let's go back to the front. The Nexus S has a 4-inch Super AMOLED screen. The Mytouch 4G has a 3.8-inch LCD screen. Both of these phones do have a 1 GHz processor. The Mytouch 4G has a 1 GHz second generation Snapdragon processor, and the Nexus S has a 1 GHz Hummingbird processor, same that was used in the Galaxy S line. 512 megabytes of RAM built into the Nexus S, 768 megabytes of RAM built into the Mytouch 4G. The internal memory of the Nexus S is 16 gigabytes. However, there is no micro SD card slot, so you're pretty much stuck with the internal memory. The Mytouch 4G has about 4 gigabytes built in, but only 1 gigabyte of those 4 gigabytes are usable, and it comes with the 8 gigabyte micro SD slot. The good thing about that is that you can replace it with a 16 or let's say a 32 gigabyte micro SD card without having to worry about being limited to just 16. Also worth noting, the Mytouch 4G has a LED indicator light right over here. You can't really see it, but when it's lit, it's obvious that it's lit and it shows. The Nexus S has no way of telling you that you have a message other than the alert that comes with it. It's not a big deal. It just takes a little getting used to always have to wake the screen. Also, since this is Android 2.3 Gingerbread, it has a few different features, including that little, when the screen turns off, it gives it that little animation. It's pretty neat. I'm not sure how necessary it is, but it's neat. It's nice. Right away, you could see the difference in the screens. The Nexus S screen is much more vibrant in color. The pixels show, but the colors are very rich. It's remarkable. I kind of wish all phones would be like that, but obviously that's a Samsung thing. The Mytouch 4G still has a great screen, but when you put it next to the Nexus S, it doesn't look so great. Let's take a quick walkthrough of each operating system. The Mytouch 4G is running Android 2.2 with a HTC Sense overlay, which means you have these this little right here on the bottom, that's a HTC Sense. The way we have the locked call button, you know, the app tray comes up and down, and this faves right here, I believe, is individual to the Mytouch line. Let's go back to the home screen. As you can see, each app is outlined here with a little square. We have your pinch gesture to go out and see all the home pages. This could be expanded to 7 pages. It comes out of the box with 5. Also comes with widgets exclusive to HTC Sense. You have your faves widget. Let's take a look at some other widgets. There's your weather widget, which shows animations also with your weather. Let's check out what other widgets are available. Let's go to widgets. You have your app pack, which comes from T-Mobile. Your calendar, you're going to have 2. Calendar for HTC Sense and calendar for Android stock. You have your faves, your friend stream, the hands-free mode, which comes with the MyTouch line, your media room, which is your music player and video player, messages. All these apps are pretty much, half of them I'm going to say, because there's always an alternate with the Android, are HTC Sense exclusive. They have beautiful apps. Very nice, some that you can't even find in the marketplace. And let's check out the Nexus S overall view. There aren't too many differences from Android 2.2. We still have the way we could see all screens and jump all the way to the last screen, which is really neat. You don't have to scroll through each page to get to the screen. You just get a little screenshot right there, and you know which screen you want to jump to right away. You hit it and you're there. Let's check out the widgets for the Nexus S. You have your analog clock, calendar, Google search, voice inbox, Google Voice, home tip screens, which comes out of the box, news and weather, picture frame, power controls, and YouTube. Those are what comes out of the box. It's pretty much the whole Google experience is having a super stock phone. No bloatware, no extra apps that you don't need, that you don't want. Everything on there is basically what you need, and you build the phone up the way that you want. You go into the marketplace, you don't like the music player, you download a new music player. That's the whole Google experience. You customize your phone to the way you like it, whereas the Mytouch 4G, basically, they especially since this is coming from T-Mobile directly, they put a lot of apps on there that you might not want, like a scanner I never use. This game is probably a demo. There's a lot of things on here that I'm probably never going to use, but there's no way I could take them off because they're built into it. However, the overall way the phone is, for people who aren't into customizing their phone, it's pretty much ready to go. Everything that you want is available right now, without having to go into the marketplace. So it really comes down to personal preference, whether you want to customize your phone or whether you want it to be customized for you. Now let's check out the phone apps on each of these. Let's open them up. Alright, and right away we get into the dialer right over here. They're a little bit different layouts, especially since this is stock and this is HTC Sense overlay. We have here on the top, we have the actual phone, which we're on right now. The difference from here, from 2.2 on stock Android devices, as you can see, it's a dark black layout. Not really buttons anymore. They're more just underlines to show each button. You have your call button, voicemail, and delete. You have your call log right here. Your contacts show up over here, and your favorites. It's pretty simple. Some people like it simple. I kind of like it like that, just so it's not too much stuff going on. Right here you have your dialer. The thing I do like about the dialer on the Mytouch 4G is you can look up contacts by just typing the letters on the dial pad, and it automatically brings you, it narrows it down on the top for you, which is a pretty nice feature. You got your contacts right here, brings up your contacts list. your faves. You can add faves. It comes up in a little 3D carousel animation back to your phone dialer, your call log, and your voicemail button. They're both pretty simple. Both have excellent call quality when I was testing them out. I am going to admit the Mytouch 4G, I did have in the beginning just a few issues with reception. Overall though, it kind of went away by itself, and it seems like the reception issue is pretty great with that. Now after, it was probably just the first day or two, I'm not sure what it was. The Nexus S, the only issue I ever had was I was making a phone call, and during the phone call, I'm not sure how it happened, but it exited out of the phone call screen. When I went to go end the call, I couldn't, and I took down the notification bar. I clicked on the phone and it still wouldn't take me into the phone app, so it was kind of stuck for a few seconds until finally it snapped out of it and it went back to normal. Overall though, I'd say from my usage I've had no problems. They're both very good. Call quality is great. Speakerphone quality is very good. Now let's check out the keyboards on both of these phones. The biggest difference between Android 2.2 and Android 2.3 is the new keyboard that was revamped just for Gingerbread. Let's check this out. As you could see, the buttons are a little bit shorter and a little bit wider from previous Android stock keyboard. Let's test it out right now. It is a multi-touch keyboard. Alright, as you can see I messed up right over here, but the nice thing about this keyboard is they give you a little cursor that you could basically scroll for editing text. It's really nice. The keyboard is pretty responsive. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It might just be, it is going to come down to personal preference. For me, it just gave me a hard time getting used to it. Let's go to, if you long press here, you could select the word, and you could copy that right away, or you could stretch it out, select the text that you want it to select, and then basically tap on it. You could cut it, or you could copy it, which is a real nice improvement from the prior Android keyboard. It was there, but it was just a lot harder to use. Let's get out of here. Don't forget, if you don't like this keyboard, you could always download one from the app marketplace. You also have the microphone for speaking your text. Let's get out of here, and let's check out the Mytouch 4G keyboard. Let's go into messages, compose new message. Alright, this comes out of the box pre-installed with Swipe, and this is the first keyboard that you're going to see. If you have the Mytouch 4G out of the box, it's going to come with Swipe. The nice thing about the Mytouch 4G is it comes pre-installed with 3 keyboards. The Swipe, the Touch Input, and the Drag and Dictation. Drag and Dictation I haven't used too much. I really didn't give it a chance. It's just not me. It's pretty much mostly voice dialing. And let's try this out. It comes with the haptic feedback on. You could turn that off in the settings. You could also enable sound for both of these phones. And you could see I'm already messing up, but I am trying to type through the screen of the camera. Alright, and it changed my name from Mo to Now. So let's, as you could see, same thing comes up here. Also has the magnifier for selecting text. So let's delete that and fix this. Alright, and just touch Mo, and you can see on the bottom it saved that name. And now let's select this. Alright, and same thing. So the magnifier gives it a nice little touch. Be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for part 2. We're going to go over the browser, the camera app, and the music player, and we're going to declare the winner of today's phone fight between the Mytouch 4G and the Samsung Nexus S.